isn't it, in a sense, when we were talking about the Liverpool game in London against Spurs a week or two ago, and we sat on the day before on the Saturday. In fact, we've just been doing the Barca Atleti game, and we said, how can we find a pathway for Tottenham to somehow be organised, and somehow Liverpool would not sort of be very cute and clever and sort of pick them apart? And I don't think anybody could, and I think it was a pretty easy analysis, and it worked out that way. It's very similar here, unless Ruben Amorim has been able to do something transformative in 3 or 4 days or whatever it is since they last got walloped, in terms of the shape of the team, going into Anfield against one of the slickest passers of the ball, a team that has midfielders that open you up and make runs, a team that is very fluid in terms of this front three, where they go. How do you find a pathway for this Liverpool side not to carve this United side open? We saw Bournemouth do it. We saw Wolves do it. We've seen many others do it. Yeah, they had this great result against Man City at the Etihad, but it's kind of not anything to shout about these days. And you know, there was that late great goal from Ahmed Diallo. I just find it difficult. Yeah, United could sit in, get everybody behind the ball and try and make it difficult. Have they got the kind of players to do that in the team? I don't really think they have, and I would be shocked if this Liverpool side and its current guys does not tear this United back three / back five apart.
Yeah, but Bruno Fernandes is back, Ugarte is back for United.
And they're going to Anfield, everything to win, nothing to lose. That will worry the Liverpool fans, because they're coming there. They're coming in a relegation battle. They need every point to stay in the Premier League. So there is a lot of things going on there. I think it's depending on not only the team it sets out, Dan, it's also the strategy. I think he has to go there to be careful. I think you have to go there to try to get that point, to stabilize the team. Don't go there to show that your way of playing, we want to be on a front toe. We want to go there. We're going to go there to entertain. They have to go to Anfield, as where they are at the moment, a bad football team. And yes, they went to Manchester City, and as Craig is saying, City is a funny story the last weeks, of course. But going to Anfield at the moment, what I'm so impressed by Arne Slot's Liverpool at the moment is that there's steadiness. There's always playing, whatever. If they're down, not very often, but if they're down, they keep on playing. You see what they're doing. So I don't want to see, for Manchester United fans, a Manchester United team that like to play out from the back, that Onana going to be the quarterback of Manchester United. Then it's going to be, then my 3-1 will be very conservative, I think.
I got a funny feeling, Jan, that Ruben Amorim's not gone to Anfield to try and entertain this weekend. I mean,
no, we never know with coaches, do you, Craig?
Yeah, well,
you can say that we have to go there and do something,
I mean,
you know.
Entertaining and Man United shouldn't really be in the same sentence at the moment. I mean, stopping crosses into the box, or marking when crosses come into the box, picking up an Alexander Isak or a Joe Linton, as they didn't do, would be a start. But again, I would be shocked, absolutely shocked, if this was not comfortable.
To Anfield, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a massive game. I know that is maybe the best game to play here in Manchester United, the biggest rival. It's not the City rival, but I know from history is the biggest rival. They are really good this season, but I'm focused on improving our team. We had a bad last game, so we focus a lot on improving the basics in our performance, and that was our focus.
You've had a full week to prepare, and you also said on Monday you were going to shock the players and get a response. So how's the week of training been?
Really good. It's so much different when you have to for example, this week two trainings to have everybody to explain the idea, to work on the little things, and you are happier and you feel that you are improving, and that is a feeling that I had this week. Let's see on the game.
Any team news updates?
No, I think Rashford is healed. Johnny is out. I think the rest. Vic is almost there. Luke also, but they are out. The rest, I think, they are fit.
You mentioned in the press conference about triggering Harry Maguire's contract extension. Great news for both sides, club and Harry, and yourself, of course.
Yeah, of course. I think we need Harry in this moment. He struggled a lot in the last years, but today he's fit. He's playing. I think he needs to improve his game, and we need leaders. And when you pass what Harry passed in the last years, you improve as a leader, as a man, and we need that. So we are really happy.
Good to have both Bruno and Manuel Ugarte back from suspension.
Yeah, that is really good. They have a lot of quality, a lot of pace. I think we felt that in the last game, so we are really happy to have them.
On a personal level, do you have any New Year's resolutions or anything you want to work on in 2025?
No, just improve the club and try to give some happiness to the fans. They were incredible against Newcastle in that kind of game, in this kind of moment. The second half, the support. I think I already knew it, but this is a special club.
And just finally, what would your message be to the fans all over the world who are supporting the team's progression this year?
We are giving everything to improve the club. We need that, we want that, and that's it. I don't like to promise any results, but we will give everything to put this club in where it's supposed to be.
Club is most popular around the world with all of that history to it, and not like despite form that can produce strange results. So I mean, yeah, once Karen brought it up, you think it was maybe a slightly odd time just to change the chemistry of the build-up almost.
Yeah, is that rivalry more historic now? Because I mean, the clubs are just they're on different paths at the moment.
I mean, it'll always be there though, that kind of local animosity, and you only have to speak to the fans and who they most want to beat. Yeah. That never goes away. But you're absolutely right in terms of just, I mean, it's been a very strange historical rivalry in that they've never really been very good. For England's two most successful clubs, they've never been at the top at the same time. Yeah, so there's been very few seasons actually where they've even gone up against each other in a title race. I think the only one in the Premier League era was 08-09. And it's always been like one has been way below. But of course the big difference one has been below. The big difference this time is that one is way, way below. And a gap I don't think we haven't seen for decades between the two.
Do you feel like it's more historic now? It's not Man United, Liverpool of old?
No, I think it always is. I think both, as you said, you speak to the fans, it's a rivalry. It doesn't matter, that rivalry goes back so many, many years and so many meaningful matches. So it's still there. Like you said, the competitiveness, I think there's a big gap between both of them. But come that whistle, you can't take away also what Man United have done on one-off games over the last couple of seasons. Yeah. There is a gulf, but they can step up, will they? I don't think they will, but you can't rule that off. And I think even Arne Slot said, look, they are playing better than where it says, but
that is a slightly strange thing at the moment, because even, if you go back to the 70s and 80s, when Liverpool were dominant, United used to pride themselves on getting these, as you mentioned, these sudden results out of nowhere against their great rivals, and they'd rise to the game. And similarly, when Ferguson was dominant for 2 decades, Liverpool did the same, and they were always even games. But that's what's been so strange about this period, that Liverpool have really made their superiority count in such a kind of extreme way. And actually, these, not surprise results, but these moments when the team on lesser form gets a result, they've been fewer and far between. In fact, but the last one was really, and that was a shock in itself when Ten Hag claimed his first win at Manchester United in his own first game against Liverpool back in September 2022, and how Amorim could do with that now.
Yeah, well, Kaz, you mentioned Trent Alexander-Arnold. Well, he's also in the final 6 months of his contract, and multiple reports are linking him with Real Madrid. Here's what his manager had to say about the situation.
Trent can still improve. I think I saw a bit of improvement already this season. So these players are top of the world, so there's not a lot of room for improvement anymore. But there's always a bit of improvement, and especially defensively, Trent, in my opinion, has made a step up this season.
And we've all heard about the bid from Real Madrid for Trent. Have you spoken to him at all since then?
I speak to every player once in a while, and that is for Trent the same. So yes, I spoke to him, yeah.
Can I just say, Arne Slot has come in and had to deal with so much. Firstly, stepping into Jurgen Klopp's shoes, then being, at the forefront of this title race, and now these 3 players, the contracts, being out of contracts in the summer. He had to answer in nearly every press conference.
And he's so calm.
Yeah.
Like, I love him, I do. To do what you follow Klopp, who's obviously an absolute legend, and then just to come in and he's, made it look so easy. He's just but no, it's for him. He's just got to get Trent playing as good as possible, and he has. Like you said, there's not a lot he can do. It's kind of the contract's coming to an end. Liverpool obviously would love to have him, but he's just got to keep him playing well and keeping him fit and sharp. And unfortunately, it's probably not in Arne Slot's hands. He's just got to keep the player motivated and help him get up the table.
Yeah, I think that goal, obviously, the deflection. We can all see it's a massive deflection, but he scored. The celebration, the celebration for me was telling. Look at that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know who that's directed at, mind. Because, I mean...
At you, the media, and us.
Well, the media aren't the ones that put in the bid. It was Real Madrid that put in the bid. But I must say, actually, on that, I do find it's very strange. In terms of the way the window and the market works, I thought it was very odd behaviour from Madrid. I mean, it feels like that's the sort of move that might only serve to irritate people rather than make something likelier. The only time, actually, the only similar situation was when they wanted Kylian Mbappe in a similar situation last year, and they put in quite a low offer to try and get him out of Paris Saint-Germain a year before his contract is up. And it feels like it's almost like a power play with the club he's at. Because obviously Liverpool were never going to engage in that. They were never going to accept it. But then it just almost creates this extra strand to the storyline about a player who, as we say, is almost certain to leave.
But he can play in the knockout stage of the Champions League, can't he? So, they're super light on defence. I'm
that's
talking
true,
I'm
yeah.
not trying to upset Liverpool fans, but I'm thinking Real Madrid, if they're going to go for him, they've tried to accelerate this move and say, look, we might get him for nothing anyway. Do you want to? You want 20 million if you're going to walk? But they're trying to accelerate it with how many injuries at the back that they've got. I'm thinking we're in a title race in Madrid, in the La Liga, and we're light in terms of what we need if we want to retain the Champions League. But yeah, it's very cheeky.
Yeah. Well, exactly. I think it's a cheekiness. But you're right. Madrid have had a bit of an injury crisis, especially with Carvajal out. But then one of the stories previously from Madrid was that they were initially not moving Alexander-Arnold too early because they're very conscious of the kind of the politics around succeeding Dani Carvajal, given he's a club legend in that way. I mean, if we think about the politics in the Premier League at Madrid, it's a whole other level.
Yeah, it is a whole other story. Well, we've got to talk about Manchester United because 5 defeats from 6 games leaves them in 14th spot going into this match, and they haven't won at Anfield in 9 years. So a tough task for manager Ruben Amorim.
In football, one game, anything can happen. If you talk about the season, almost every time the best win. But in the moment they are better than us. But we can win any game. But we have to focus not on the context, but on the performance. What we have to do, simple things, and I think we need to improve the simple things to play these kind of games. And we have the responsibility to play to win a game. We had some losses. We prepared this game to win, and we know what we are going to face. So. My focus is to prepare the team to not suffer that difficult moments. If you saw it in the first 15 minutes against Newcastle. I want to improve that, to have more control of the ball, prepare the players for each situation, and that our focus is not thinking about any bad result. If you want to be a top team, you have to be leaders, and we have that in the dressing room, but they have to step up. Because we have a lot of young kids also. And this moment is really, really hard. Because you can look at the table, but you are still Manchester United. So this gap and this pressure of the big club in a really low moment is really hard to cope. So we need the guys that more experienced to help the others.
Not only are they in trouble in terms of the table and in terms of their form, but contract situations at Manchester United as well. Harry Maguire signed a new one, but all the talk has been about Marcus Rashford, and after the Newcastle game, Joshua Zirkzee as well. Yeah,
I mean, Zirkzee, whatever about the performance, it's impossible not to feel sorry for him just on a human level, especially the way he came off. But it's another element that creates, I suppose, difficulty and noise around the club. Rashford, I mean, we've had several headlines this week. I was one of 5 journalists on Thursday that wrote that he turned down 3 very lucrative offers from the Saudi Pro League. Because if he is to leave Manchester United, he's made it clear he wants to go to a competitive club, which may be difficult because with the form he's been on the reported wages, and given that United would obviously want quite a high fee, there's currently not that many takers, which I suppose is a reflection of his own form. But yeah, it is incredible. We were saying there about Arne Slot, how composed he is, no matter what you throw at him, and how he makes everything feel like it's okay. To be fair to Amorim as well, given everything we've just been talking about, to watch him there and listen to him, you wouldn't think this is a guy who's overseeing, or at least is enduring, one of the worst spells in Manchester United's history, because he's still so calm and assertive. And that, okay, I know there's been questions about what all this form means for him, but I think that's exactly what Manchester United need right now. And it's almost like they've got to radiate the idea that they've just got to back this guy. It's going to be difficult because there's all sorts of issues at this club. Now, at least, I suppose, the state of the current squad. But he's someone worth backing in terms of how you actually restructure it and what you do next.
Wild that Manchester United are closer to the relegation zone than they are to the top 4.
Yeah, I think they'll be all right. There's 3 worse teams than them, to be fair. But no, it's not ideal. But I think he's calm because he knew what he was going into. It is a difficult situation. I think
Manchester United are searching for a surprise result against league leaders and bitter rivals Liverpool in the Premier League this Sunday. The Red Devils are under immense pressure heading to Anfield after 4 defeats on the spin, with Ruben Amorim unable to create positive change during his first 6 weeks on the touchline. Visiting the red half of Merseyside is the last thing the Portuguese coach needs as he looks to change Man Ut's fortunes. Man United predicted lineup versus Liverpool. Goalkeeper Andre Onana, reinvigorated at the beginning of the campaign, Onana, much like the majority of his teammates, has returned to an unconvincing and unconfident wreck in recent weeks. Has guaranteed to be busy at the weekend against the division's most menacing forward line. Defenders. Matthijs De Ligt made his first start for Man United in the reverse fixture and produced a largely rotten performance in the 3-0 home defeat. Things haven't improved for the Dutchman, who could hardly cut a more contrasting figure to compatriot Virgil van Dijk right now. Harry Maguire. Man United have triggered Maguire's contract extension as they search for leadership, and the bulky defender will offer some authority in defence on Sunday. He will be kept on his toes by the relentless Luis Diaz, whose pace and quick feet may cause serious issues. Lisandro Martinez. Martinez's diminutive stature has proved a problem in recent weeks, with the Argentinian bullied by Joe Linton as Newcastle United doubled their advantage at Old Trafford last Monday. Midfielders. Nasser Mazraoui. Anthony Gordon offered the Moroccan no respite last time out, and Cody Gakpo will prove a similarly stern challenge for the summer recruit. It could be a long afternoon at Anfield. Kobbie Mainoo was the man who replaced Joshua Zirkzee after just 33 minutes against Newcastle, and the midfielder at least offered a little more protection than his teammates. Manuel Ugarte. The Uruguayan's tenacity and grit will be essential against Liverpool, with Man United likely to find themselves under consistent pressure. He returns from a one-match ban that saw him miss the Newcastle defeat. Diogo Dalot, one of the few decent performers against Newcastle, as he featured from the less familiar left-hand side. A battle with the league's most informed player, Mohamed Salah, will be an entirely different proposition, however. Forwards. Amad Diallo. The Ivorian has been one of very few bright sparks in a dark season for the Red Devils, and he produced the match-winning moment in the FA Cup meeting between the two sides last season. Rasmus Højlund. After signs of life early in Amorim's reign, Højlund has now gone 5 games without a goal. The powerful Denmark international must offer more to Man Ut's misfiring front line. Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes has not been immune from criticism this season, and a 3rd red card of the campaign didn't help his side against Wolverhampton Wanderers. The skipper missed the bruising defeat to Newcastle last time out due to suspension.